Oh, yeah, we're not the suits that talk football. We're the dudes that know football. And you've just crossed over into the trend zone. Casey here with Dave. We are the football dudes. Dave, are you ready, bro?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice. Well, that's a signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the trend zone. It is Tuesday, March 24th, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Dave, it's a blistering 76 degrees up in the Sherm. What you got on the west side?
It's a comfortable 62 right now. It's very nice. I'll tell you
Chilly.
what. A little chilly, but
Yeah.
comfortable.
Like cross breeze,
Yeah,
coming there, all that
little
good.
offshore breeze here on the west side. You know how it is.
Going high to low. You came for football, but you're getting the weather. But we're done with that. Dave, we're not the NFL dudes. We're not the college football dudes. We are the football dudes. So we're doing it a little bit different today. If you're a sicko like the two of us, and if you're listening, you probably are, we are here to give you a UFL preview. We're talking new teams. We're talking new coaches. Star players going to give you a little taste of everything, get you going for the upcoming spring league. But Dave, what we're doing identical to the NFL stuff, bro. There is not a trip into the trend zone without a tasty nug for the people. And I know you're holding, brah.
You got that right, my friend. I'll tell you what. In the NFL last year, on opening day rosters, there were a total of 46 dudes that had previously been in the UFL or spring league, and this is no surprise at all to us
Mm-mm.
because we know how close it is, when you're on that roster bubble in the NFL and you got an opportunity here in this spring league to show those NFL squads that you belong and that you deserve a spot.
Oh, absolutely, dude. And just look at my Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, Cavante Turpin, the former MVP of the league,
Yep.
he's come to the Cowboys, had been a Pro Bowl returner multiple times. And Butter Aubrey, dude, maybe one of not maybe one of the best kickers in the NFL, looking to be the highest paid kicker in the history of the league. So there is talent here. If you got a good eye
Yep.
for it, you can find it. And sometimes these cats just need more reps, more playing
Yep.
time to get there. They didn't get it in college or they started late, whatever the case. They're getting it in the spring league. And this is going to get some of these guys to the league, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Dudes just need the reps, and we wish the NFL would send even more players over there or allow more players to go over there and get those reps because these are absolutely invaluable reps for these guys to work out the small problems with their game and they can get back to the NFL and really contribute.
Oh yeah, dude. If we could see like a cat like Trey Lance or even my guy Joe Milton, some of these quarterbacks that just
Yeah.
aren't getting enough reps,
Yeah,
that a season here would do them solid. We know about the
totally.
O linemen and the other players, but quarterbacks need reps. And man, if they could find a way to make that work with the NFL,
I mean, coaches need experience and referees need training. I mean, this thing works on so many levels.
yeah,
But no doubt, we talk about the offensive linemen working out just the problems in their game and having an opportunity to get those valuable game reps.
yeah. All right, let's get to it, bro. It is UFL's an 8-team league. We got a couple new teams this year. Columbus Aviators, the
Nice.
Houston Gamblers, baby, the Louisville Kings, and the Orlando Storm. They joined the Battlehawks, the Stallions, the Renegades, and the Defenders, Dave. And what I'm noticing here is an added emphasis to put these teams in markets where they are hungry for football and they don't necessarily have NFL.
Yeah, that's one of the big deals that they've really focused on in the third year of the UFL. Um, it is basically to get these uh, these cities that are really starving for football an opportunity to go out and experience it on the pro level obviously in the spring, but they've selected smaller stadiums and they're trying to create a more of a tailgating atmosphere, a home
Yeah.
field advantage, whatever you say there. And they're really trying to focus on that local draw as well.
Speaking of that local draw, the UFL is doing a great thing here. They're trying to get some of the stars from those areas associated with the team. Birmingham's coach, AJ McCarron, highly successful at Alabama. Columbus Aviators head coach Ted Ginn Jr., Ohio State star, dude.
Yeah.
Kevin Sumlin, the coach of the Gamblers, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, tons of experience with the college scene there. Louisville
Yep.
Kings, Chris Redmond coming back, dude. So it's a great pipeline for these guys and a very smart move by the UFL trying to identify these guys.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to build coaching staffs and put together, um, rosters that appeal to the local uh, area there where the teams are playing. Like you just mentioned, a lot of those connections can really, you got somebody to root for. And a lot of times in
Yeah.
these spring leagues, you need to sort of, hitch onto a team and root for them. You need to have players that you root for, not just the jerseys. And this has given us an opportunity to say, "Hey, I rooted for that guy when he was on my college squad that I dig." So now I can really, continue to root for that person, that coach, that player, whatever it be. And it's definitely a smart move to try and just get that excitement level up.
Oh yeah, and if like Birmingham can be the pipeline for those Bama players that don't make it to the NFL or the Auburn players, it's rich, fertile grounds there with a ton of talent. So this is a smart move by the UFL, and they want to grow this thing. And each year they're making it tastier for the people. So let's go ahead and get started. Birmingham Stallions, Dave, one of the most productive and winningest organizations
Yeah.
coming from the XFL and into the UFL. Mentioned AJ McCarron as the head coach. This guy was a really good quarterback in the NFL and for the UFL. He had a chance to be a backup
In
in the
Cincinnati.
NFL. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
said, "No, I want to go to St. Louis so my kids can see me play." Now he's head coach, Dave, and he's got a bunch of talent on that squad too.
Yeah, he's got Matt Corral as his projected starter at quarterback, a dude who's got a lot of good NFL experience
Mhm.
there. Uh, in addition to that, some former NFL guys in John Ross, a former first round pick for the
Speedster.
Bengals, right? Speed guy, yeah. Laviska Shenault Jr., also a former second round pick in the NFL. So definitely some dudes there, as well as, of course, a former Cowboy that I know you're big fan of.
TJ Watt?
I'm talking about a certain spicy dude.
Oh, it is Tuesday, right? You must be talking about Taco Tuesday, Taco Charlton. But you know what? Maybe this guy wasn't ready for his shot when he got it with the Cowboys. Had a little taste of what it could have been. He still wants to play football. Some of these guys need to, they learn stuff the hard way. This could be a path for him to get back to the league.
No doubt. And even if he never does get back to the league, he gets to keep playing football
Yeah.
at a professional level. It's like we said, they're just a little bit outside the bubble there for NFL at this point, but you never know. So
good luck to Taco, man. I mean,
you're rooting for him, I can tell.
That's right. Prove those guys wrong. All right, Dave, let's go ahead and move it to the Columbus Aviators.
Yeah.
Ted Ginn Jr., like I said, Ohio State star.
Sure.
Pretty good in the NFL, too. He's getting his chance at head coach. You mentioned those guys having to start somewhere. Ted Ginn's getting his shot right there in Ohio.
No doubt about it. And so obviously Ohio fans of football know exactly who Ted Ginn Jr. is. They got Clayton Tune as their quarterback projected starter, Jalen McClendon also on that roster there. So yeah, could be some dudes there that have a chance.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the crowds that they get out for this thing. Their appetite for football in Ohio was insatiable. So
Yeah.
they got plenty in the fall. Let's see how they respond in the spring there. Okay. Dallas Renegades, big game Bob decided to step down. He did get the Renegades to a championship, but a nice pedigree from the new coach coming in too.
Yeah, Rick Neuheisel obviously has a lengthy resume as a college football coach there. In the quarterback room, I'm a big fan of Luis Perez. He's been sort of the spring king, I think is his nickname there, and he's a dude that learned how to play quarterback off of YouTube, and he's a gamer out of San Diego who's actually on the Chargers for a stint last year or the year before that. And so automatically he's a dude that I'm kind of rooting for.
And yeah, we've seen his play improve every year. And David just goes to show you there's more than just dank memes out on the internet. You can learn how to play football.
Yeah, apparently there's more out there.
All right, dude, let's go to the defending champs, the DC Defenders coming back to defend their crown, Dave.
Yeah, how about okay, so it's head coach Shannon Harris there. Not too familiar with him. Casey, got anything on Shannon Harris? No.
He, they were down and out last year, and he supposedly, and nobody had the Defenders going far. And by the end of the season, they were playing
Right.
some pretty damn good football under his lead. And also, just for I don't usually have a lot of good stuff to say about Washington football fans, but the beer snake is one of the best things about that Defenders home crowd and the
Right.
UFL, dude.
Yeah.
They get that thing going. It's pretty dope.
At quarterback for the Defenders is Jordan Ta'amu, and he was the MVP of that game last year, throwing for 300 plus yards. I believe 4 touchdowns in that game. Wasn't I don't even think the starter all year long, but when he
No,
got his chance, he really did shine there. They also have Spencer Sanders as well.
Oklahoma
For
State.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And, Tamu is one of these guys that, I don't think it's a done deal for him either. This will be his second year getting a bunch of these reps. Let's see what happens at the end of the season for this guy. But he was playing some of the best football in the league towards the end of the season there.
totally.
All right, Dave, let's go ahead and move it down. The Houston Gamblers, it's a rebrand down there, kicking it old school to a USFL team. They got rid of that helmet of the Texas squad that you love so much last year,
I
Dave.
hated the asymmetric helmet with the red and white and blue and all chopped up and everything. I'm looking for this big this old school flashback to the Houston Gamblers. I'm actually totally stoked at this rebranding here. Kevin Sumlin's going to be the guy, as we previously mentioned, in charge there. Hunter Decker's at quarterback is their projected starter. So we'll see how the Houston Gamblers can do. Can they conjure up some of the images of the original USFL way
Oh,
back
you mean like the shades of Jim Kelly coming out and dominating that league and then coming for a long run in the NFL?
right?
That would be pretty sweet. All right, Dave, another new unit for the UFL, the Louisville Kings, baby. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. Another rebranding. We are admittedly uniform freaks, and we enjoy to check out the new threads. Here, Chris Redmond is head
Former
coach.
Louisville quarterback,
Very
stud
good.
there.
Yep, had a very successful in his heyday there. Quarterback room in Louisville is got Jason Bean, the projected starter, as well as Chandler Rogers. So we'll see what they've got. They've got a couple of former guys, NFL guys there. Cameron Dantzler is one
Yeah.
of them that comes to mind, and then Kwame Lassiter the second there, also another dude that jumps out to me as a dude that we've seen playing in the NFL.
And Jason Bean, dude, he wasn't always consistent, but he had some games at Kansas where he just lit it up. Very athletic, a heady guy, got a bunch of starts. So I think this guy could have, a future in the NFL too. I'm not saying he's going to be a starter, but we're
Right.
going to get more reps out of him. So I'm excited to see what happens when he gets a year of pro football under his belt come summertime and when they need camp arms places. All right, Dave, another new rebrand to an old school brand, the Orlando Storm.
Yeah, I'm digging this one too. No doubt about it. They're bringing back Anthony Beck at head coach. He's been one of the better coaches that they've had in the spring league. He's been back a number of times over again. And I'm really excited about the possibility of Dorian Thompson Robertson, DTR, the former Bruin. I apologize, Bruins fans. The former Bruin. And he had a stint in the NFL where he had a real legit shot.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out for him.
Unfortunately, he was on the Browns.
Yeah, I know. So I guess saying he had a real legit shot might be stretching it. But nonetheless, I'm a big fan of DTR. I thought as he played a long time at UCLA, he got better each year. And we'll see if he takes this opportunity to get a little bit better. He can find himself back in the league. Other notable NFL players that are on this roster, KJ Hamler, the former Denver Bronco, a relatively high draft pick, I believe, for the Broncos. And then Isaiah Buggs, who's been in the spring league, in the NFL. He's been kind of hovering between the two. So look for him to be a dude to help out the Storm.
All right, and you were talking about Anthony Beck, the former head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks, dude. They have one of their own. Now the head coach made one of the biggest plays in NFC Championship to get those St. Louis Rams to the Super Bowl. Now
Yep.
he's back as a head coach of the Battlehawks.
Yeah, Ricky Prohl, dude. Pretty exciting to see Ricky Prohl in the mix here with an opportunity to coach the St. Louis Battlehawks, who have been a team that has had excellent. We're talking about getting the fans involved and
Yeah,
stuff. This has been the flagship in terms of the home
averaging like
field,
30 or 40,000 a
averaging
game.
30,000 plus fans in the stadium there. They've really got the atmosphere. Everybody's pumped up. And yeah, QBs. Michael Pratt is the potential starter there, but Brendan Silver's also a dude who has a number of
He's
snaps
come
under
on
his belt.
lately
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So we'll see about that. Hakeem Butler, former NFL player, on there, as well as Denzel Mims. So some dudes to work with there. But really excited for Ricky Prohl to get his go at being the head coach there for the Battlehawks.
And dude, every spring season I watch Hakeem Butler play. I'm like, I can't believe this guy is not in the NFL. He's got size, speed,
Yeah.
great catch radius, great
Yep.
hands. One more season might do it. And Denzel Mims, man, had huge expectations coming into college, wasn't able to quite figure it out at the NFL level. That's okay, man. Maybe this will spring him back. But like what you said, dude, even if these cats don't get back to the NFL, they're still playing pro
Yeah.
football, keeping the dream alive. That's a pretty good living if you can do it, man. Getting to do what you love
Yeah.
once you
No
grow up. It's
doubt. I
awesome.
mean, got to be stoked for these dudes. They like there's following their passion and still playing pro football, whether
Yeah.
they end up realizing their NFL dreams or not. This is a manifestation. This is a dream scenario for a lot of these players, and if this is the pinnacle for them, then that's great. They're I'm going to sure as heck enjoy it with them.
Oh yeah, and every game is on Fox or ESPN, ABC, so it's getting a bunch of coverage now. And Dave, the UFL, we need more of this, like testing for the NFL. We need to see those quarterbacks in this league, but we see a lot of these rule changes in the UFL that the NFL implements, later on. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, we would love to see this to get some data on some of this.
Yep.
UFL is making rule changes, a couple big ones here. One of the things I love the most, though, is the transparency from the instant replay. We get to get in there, we get to
Yeah.
see what they're seeing, hear what they're saying. I don't know if the NFL will ever do that, but that's one of the things I love is that transparency
Hmm.
in that review process. But let's go ahead and get it started with these rule changes for the upcoming season.
Yeah, so a couple of big ones here. The 4-point field goal, any successful field goal beyond 60 yards will be worth 4 points. So, there's some strategy involved there. Or if you're just kind of, right on the cusp there, get that 60-yarder for 4 points, and that extra point might be worth it. I don't know if that'll ever come into play. Maybe trying to position the ball in such a way that you're hitting a 60-yarder rather than a 59-yarder. Maybe you take a snap and set
Four
that up.
seconds left in the game, down by 3. You're sitting at the 42-yard line, one timeout, 2-yard loss,
Yeah,
timeout.
kneel on it, and then
Yep.
boom. Yeah, we'll see if that ever comes into play. But at any rate, it's kind of neat, the 4-point play. So it's something different there. The other one that's interesting is they go to the college rules with regards to receiving the football. Receivers just need 1 foot in bounds. So hopefully that will create for some more offense. Not that we need more, but hey, everybody loves offense, right? And then the red zone, half the distance. I think that's just the standard NFL rule there. So nothing different there. Another one though, Casey, which is the NFL has been looking at in this one. Do we like this player or not? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the tush push.
Right. Oh, we call it the power surge if you're a Charger fan. Um, but I'll tell you what, they're
That's
trying.
a much better name.
Yeah, much better. The elimination of the tush push, they play where players push the quarterback. Essentially, that has been eliminated. I think they could probably still obviously do a quarterback sneak in a more traditional sense, but I don't think you can actually get behind and push the player, the quarterback or the ball carrier forward in that situation. So I'm cool with that. We'll see if the NFL gets there or not. It seems to have almost righted itself in the NFL
Yeah.
a little bit, but They decided not to have to. It's a tricky play for the refs, and
Yeah.
so in that respect, maybe they just want to take it off the plate.
And the thing is, they don't let the defense stack like that. If both teams can stack and put the front line and push, that would be something else. So I understand, but they're
Yeah,
saying none of that business. We don't want to put the refs in that. And especially with how you can challenge any play in this league,
yeah.
they can't be having that wasted on the push. Like, we're not even going to mess with this. But Dave, the 4-point field goal, pretty kinky. We're getting a little kinkier here, Dave, and I like it.
That's right. This one's cool. No punting inside the 50-yard line. So once your offense crosses over the 50, you're not allowed to punt. Even if you have a 5-yard penalty or whatever that sends you back into your territory, you're still mandated to go for it on fourth down. Uh, the rule doesn't apply after the 2-minute warning in either half. However, for the most part, this rule is going to take place right when you're around the midfield. And instead of trying to pin the team deep and get them down inside their 10 or 5-yard line or whatever,
Or kick
you're
it
just
right into the end zone and get back to the 20, my
right. And
favorite
it's like
play in
an
football.
18-yard net or whatever, which is so frustrating. In this case, we get to see a fourth down, whether or not it's advisable to go for it on 4th and 12 or 9 or whatever it is at your own 50 or around your 50. I think it's going to be neat. It's just going to force teams to be more aggressive. And I think that's a cool thing.
More action, baby. We love it. That's what they're really angling here. You said it. So the more offense we can have, the more better. Okay. And then overtime's a little bit different. You know, they don't want these cats playing a long extended, just trying to get it over. So
Yeah, we'll
this
get Heidi gamed if they
forces,
keep
yeah,
if they get into the depths of a longer overtime. Instead, they're going to handle it right. They're going to
yeah.
get three attempts per team from the other team's 5-yard line. If the tie is still not broken after those 3 attempts, then they'll just alternate attempts until somebody gets a cleared out and gets the margin of victory. So good stuff. If it gets to overtime, it's not going to be epic. It's going to be sort of a shootout.
Hey, what do you think about this? We used to do this. So overtime scenario, one team gets the ball at midfield, they run one play. The other team gets the ball wherever that play went to. So say you get an 8-yard gain on that play, the other team has to get 9 or it's over. One play each.
Wow.
That's short overtime. Okay, speaking of short, what about the point after? The PAT's a little change in this one.
Yeah, 3 options. One is the traditional point after that the NFL gives you from the 33-yard line. They'll just kick it through the uprights and get the good single. If it's not that, they can go for 2. That'll be at the 2-yard line. And then also the unique 3-point conversion that would be placed at the 8-yard line. So expect a lot of teams, obviously, when you're depending on the score and the circumstance as the game moves along, that 3-point conversion becomes more and more tempting to go for there. Seemed like the 2-pointer was the sort of the go-to last year for the most part for the teams as a default. I think if you're out in front, maybe you do the single. If you're behind, you maybe risk it and go for the 3.
Yeah, we'll see how conservative get now that you can just kick that extra point. We'll see if it's a
Yeah,
change in the
we'll
plans
see.
or not. All right, we mentioned that the UFL is a training ground for NFL stuff they would like to see implemented. We saw the NFL implement the kickoff change that the UFL came up with, and I
Yep.
think it's been brilliant so far. They're
Yeah.
tweaking it just a little bit more, and I think this is going to be a good thing too.
Yeah, we'll see if the NFL is maybe giving them a little wink, nudge, nudge, if you wouldn't mind giving this a go. But what they're basically doing is they're moving the whole setup. The kickoff team is going to get basically 5 yards further away from the receiving team, and the receiving team is going to get 5 yards closer. So it sort of automatically sets up the receiving team with a little more space there, perhaps, and the more likely to create positive starting field position for the receiving team.
Yeah, and give that back a little more room to work with there. So it'll be interesting to see how much that little 5 yards helps. I think it's actually going to be pretty effective, man. And the kick return, one of the most exciting plays in football. So if
Yep.
this helps tweak that a little bit more, I'm all for it. All right, Dave. We have football this weekend, baby. 3 straight days of UFL football. Obviously, March Madness is going on. We got some USA soccer, but we have American football starting on Friday night, baby. Come on.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights, the Stallions at the Louisville Kings. That'll be Friday night at 5 o'clock, man.
Into it. And then a doubleheader on Saturday. We got 9 a.m. The Defenders at the Battlehawks, followed by the Houston Gamblers at the Dallas Renegades, an all Texas battle, Dave, and then a Sunday night fiesta as well.
Yeah, it'll be Sunday night at 5. So Sunday night football, right? Columbus Aviators, Orlando Storms. Get to see the unis going at it out there. It's gonna be awesome. I'm super stoked on this, man.
Hell yeah. And you, being the sicko that you are, you've already looked ahead at the schedule and noticed that they have some games on off days. That's a pretty cool deal right now in the spring.
Yeah, they do. In fact, there's a Tuesday night game. That'll be the day after the March Madness final game, which is on a Monday night. So they're pushing that one back to the Tuesday there. It's an interesting Tuesday night game. There's a couple of Thursday nighters. I wish they would have done a couple more of those because we kind of got ourselves acclimated to Thursday night football during the NFL season. So, but they're mostly hanging around there the Friday, Saturday, Sundays for the most part. But a couple of little,
I need that weekday
variations.
football, Dave. I got to make up for all the lost time during the NFL season on the weekends, taking the kids to Disneyland, Six Flags, doing all that type of thing. So I need the weekday games, and it just gives you a little juice to get to that weekend too. So I'm into it, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm totally stoked. The sooner they can get these things on the air, then I can schedule them into my schedule, and I'm a guy that's going to watch all of these ones. So
yeah. Well, you're not a football dude if you're not into it like that. And Dave, the way that people can get into it, not just one way, so many ways that they can check out the football dudes. The TrendZone available for subscription, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever the hell you get your podcasts.
Yeah, or just also subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Instagram and Facebook, follow us on Twitter, also known as X at Football Dudes LA, and make sure to tag us across all social media platforms.
And while you're out there surfing the interwebs, go ahead and bookmark footballdudes.com. That is going to do it for this special UFL episode of the Trend Zone. Remember, we're not the suits that talk football. We're the dudes that know football. For Dave, I'm Casey, and we are out of here.